with my brother Tinga. Unajua mchagua jembe sio mkulima. Let me tell you, mchagua jembe sio mkulima. And the different process challenge dem hata weka Uhuru. Awe chairman wa IBC.
Wananchi ndio kuamua.
Yeah.
You can talk a little about the tournament.
Then we can handle those 200,000.
Yes. Yes. How do I handle the mask? Kabisa ile ya nose. Sasa maneno itatoka namna gani?
Nimevalia hapa.
Yeah, ndio inakane. Yes, gentlemen, unfortunately you don't have ladies. Gentlemen, wewe unanisikia? Unanipata na hii ya nini? Unajua hii ni propaganda mingi sana hii ati ya online TV. Ama yako ni gani? Ni West?
Hii ni West.
Ulifanya siku hizi umeenda huko? Haiko kama wewe.
Iko sawa mheshimiwa.
Lakini sasa kama ni party.
Kuja ushike basi.
Yeye anaona lazima anatakana iko sasa. Basi. Gentlemen, where we are now is called Maola Primary School, and today, 19th of December, we are launching our national government constituency development fund for Mumias East tournament, and that's what we are doing here. We delayed because of challenges caused by this coronavirus, and that's why we had to start this late. I want to welcome all of you. You will enjoy this football. It will be running every day until 3rd when schools will be opening. Therefore, we don't want to interfere with the program of the school, and that's why we have really tried to squeeze it to fit into this December and of course New Year of 2021. Now, we have current issues. Yes. Yes. Now this tournament is fully sponsored by CDF in terms of allowance, but as a member of parliament, I have offered myself to buy uniform for 36 teams. We have the leg ball for the girls, and then we have the usual football for the boys. And what we have actually done for it to be a little bit unique from the other tournaments we have seen is that each sub-location will be producing 2 teams, one for the girls and another one for the boys. Like you've seen already, the Maola girls have already played, beaten the Shanda sub-location. Now the Shanda boys are playing against the Maola boys. We will get the results. But at the end of the day, we will then put together the 2 sub-locations that form one location. For example, using this location as an example, this location has Maola sub-location and has Haunga sub-location. Haunga sub-location will play with another team, but in the process we have team managers who will identify a stronger team that will then represent the Haunga location, which will then now go into a league against the other 7 locations that form Mumias East sub-county, or rather constituency. Therefore, this is just the beginning, which I will refer to as preliminary league that will then help us to identify the players that will play for the locations that would eventually compete up to the end, which will the finals will be on 3rd of January. in which we have identified the best team to maybe get something close to 50,000. And then like that, 40, 30, and 20 for both girls and boys. And they will get similar prices so that we don't appear to be discriminating. Maybe something I would also want to add is that as a constituency, we have a very elaborate plan in terms of how we want to nurture talent. And we have been very strategic because this is toward the end of the year. Most of the players are students ranging both from college, high school, and primary schools who have otherwise been idle. And we thought we could engage them so that we can joke their brains. By the time they open schools and colleges on 4th, their brains would have, we would have removed the rust that is in their brains, because you see, football requires a lot of thinking for you to succeed. So we are just preparing them generally for the opening of learning institutions on 4th of January. And that's why we have strategically placed this tournament at this. We are aware of COVID, and like you can see, we have done our best. We have put washing water. We have thermogun that is going around the field. Some of the fields that are properly secured in terms of fencing, we will have a common entry where we will be taking temperatures. Maybe here we may not have succeeded in so much because we have a challenge when it comes to fencing. So we will improve as we go on. I also want to just take this opportunity to appreciate our students in this area. Mumias they have been very good. Cases of pregnancy have been minimal if you compare it to other areas. And we appreciate what has been happening around. The parents have been a bit keen, and of course even the administration has really helped us in managing the situation. And we are just praying that now that we have seen some candidates of vaccines being displayed, we are hoping that part of the early part of 2021, Kenyans may be protected by some vaccine that would help us start living in the normal way we have been living before, without this corona COVID-19. Are ready to work with the players here to make this tournament succeed. With me is the FKF chairman of Kakamega branch, who was actually affiliated to this tournament, and his colleague, and together you will see that this is a tournament that has addressed all areas, including the public health requirements, the administrators. We have been working together to make it succeed. Now, something else that I also wish to mention here, now that we are Kenyans and we want to move together as a team, is something touching on BBI. And it is true that myself, as a Jubilee member of Parliament, who have maybe slightly different ideas from my other colleagues in Parliament, we are saying that we must give Kenyans an opportunity to choose what they want to be included in their major laws, which are main laws, which are the constitution of this republic. And how do we do it? We should do it by giving Kenyans an opportunity to specifically, because the laws touching on devolved funds and the laws touching on representation of parliament are completely different. You cannot put the laws touching on devolved funds in the same basket with the laws of representation. And that's why we are asking as leaders of this country that why can't we give Kenyans an opportunity to choose what is good for them. The way BBI is currently being proposed is that if you like 35% being devolved in the counties, you must accept plotted representation. That's how it is. And we don't want that to happen to Kenyans because you are mixing issues that are actually going to affect Kenyans. And this is the supreme law of this country. Constitution is the supreme law of this country. Therefore, if it's the supreme law that Kenyans are supposed to give out to leaders to guide them on the way the Kenyans want to be led, then the proponents of BBI must give Kenyans an opportunity to do multiple choices. So that if they want 35% to be devolved, they should say yes. If they want plotted representation, they should say yes, or there would be others who would say no because of the costs that is associated. So we should give Kenyans an opportunity to say what they want. We should not force Kenyans using some backward tactics in peddling good things, presenting good things, and yet at the back we are bringing bad things that would affect Kenyans negatively. If Kenyans want prime minister, like Kenyans, for example, right now, this position of prime minister is not new to Kenyans. It was there with them from 2007 to 2013 when we were making these laws. We had a prime minister in place. In fact, sometimes we also wonder if we had a prime minister in place and that prime minister is the current proponent of BBI, why couldn't he enforce that in the 2010 constitution the position of the prime minister should have been included? Our brother, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, was the Prime Minister when this current constitution of 2010 was being formulated. If true, he thought that this position of a Prime Minister is such a important, why couldn't he request, because he is not on record to have pushed for the position of Prime Minister being included in the constitution of 2010? How come it is now being handled as an afterthought? That's the question Kenyans are asking, and I think we have a right to ask those questions. Because I'm sure if we should have raised the issue, that position, during the constitutional making of 2010, Kenyans should have considered it and included that position in the constitution instead of now coming in as an amendment. So we, and me as part of the leadership, especially from this region, we are telling people we may not have much we may not really oppose BBI, because BBI has good things and it has also bad things. It's a mixture of bad things and good things. And we are saying Kenyans must be able to be given an opportunity to isolate what they want and what they don't want, so that we can move together as a nation that has agreed on whatever issues. And we have always agreed that constitutional making or any kind of law is a give and take exercise. Even in Parliament, we do not agree on any specific act or bill 100%. They go for the majority. So even in this case, if we get the majority, they want plotted government, we will give them as a right. If there are those that are saying no to the position of Prime Minister, we will allow them to bring down the clause of the Prime Minister, so that then we have the normal or the current government running the issues of this country. Therefore, for us, we do not want to fight. We don't want to fight our brothers, the proponents of BBI. One of the proponents is my brother Uhuru Kenyatta. We don't want to be seen to be opposing our president, our party leader, we want him, but we want him, as we agree with him on the proposal of BBI, he should give Kenyans opportunity to choose what they want in that amendment of the constitution so that Kenyans can move together as one country. For Matungu, I'm sure you all know that I was very close to Mheshimiwa Justice Murunga, and that at one point we even used to have exchange programs. Murunga could come here anytime to help us do functions here. Similarly, I could also go and join him in Matungu. And it's unfortunate that what has happened has happened. We have been praying from the time we got those sad news for God to take care of the rest in terms of keeping his soul in eternal peace. We have also been praying for the family, the team that he has been working with in the CDF office and in the constituency, and we are still praying for them. Mheshimiwa Murunga used to work with me closely, politically. We also appreciate that he had been elected on ANC, and in the process also thank Honorable Musalia Mudavadi for to have allowed him to work with us, even when he had been elected by people of Matungu on the ANC. Because if it were for another party leader, he would have started frustrating him, threatening him, or will suspend him from the party and whatever. But the people of ANC and the leadership of ANC never use those kind of threats, and we really appreciate. Going forward, because of the development program that he had put in place, it is our wish as good neighbors and friends that we identify someone who can work with the people of Matungu and enhance the programs that Honorable Justice Murunga had put in place. And more specifically, Justice Murunga had really impressed on working with the Deputy President, who together they have initiated quite a number of programs in Matungu, including the expected introduction of the Technical Training Institute, the MTC, the university, the affiliate of Kibabi University, the road between Indangalasia and Matawa. And I was thinking that if we got someone in Matungu who has the same agenda, I'm sure he will now then work closely with the Deputy President so that they conclude on whatever they had started. Therefore, we must be very careful, and I'm calling upon the people of Matungu to also be very careful on who they will identify as their MP now going forward, because then that's what will determine on their development programs. Therefore, we cannot dictate for the people of Matungu. These are people who have been electing their leaders for a very long time, and we know they will come up with someone who can take over from where Mheshimiwa Justice Murunga left, especially on development program and even the accessibility that Mheshimiwa Murunga had already initiated in Matungu. So we will be there to guide them on how to proceed. But at the end of the day, it's upon the people of Matungu to decide. But we will not just sit back and leave them make a mistake, because if the people of Matungu suffer, even the people of Mumias East would also suffer alongside. If the people of Mumias East suffer, I am sure even the people of Matungu will also be affected in one way or the other. Therefore, we are brothers and sisters, and I'm sure whatever decision that they will come up with will be a decision that will help all of us, because we are Wangans, and more specifically the people of Matungu. I'm sure.
Health crisis in the country. As a leader, maybe your opinion concerning these doctors and nurses going in the country.
Yeah, today I was just learning that money has been given to IEBC for verification of signatures, and it was not small money they were asking for. Why couldn't that money be given to KEMSA to avail PPEs that the doctors are complaining about? Doctors are not complaining because of salaries. They are complaining because of their personal protection. And that personal protection also interests Kenyans, because if the doctors die today, like now, we have seen so many doctors have been affected and nurses have been affected, who will even treat us for normal diseases? Even if we got a vaccine for corona, and yet we will not have doctors to talk about, who will even treat us for other normal ailments like malaria, like the other normal diseases, high blood pressure and what have you, if the doctors would be dead? Therefore, anything that affects doctors affects us as Kenyans. And you can see easily, if you went to newspapers today, obituary pages used to be 1 or 2, but today you will get there are 6. There are many deaths appearing on the papers, and everybody, even here today alone, we have buried 4 people. One of them, our young man, just down here beyond the school. Therefore, I think this strike of doctors and nurses should not just be a matter of doctors and nurses alone. It should be a matter to touch on the security of Kenyans, their health security, because without doctors and nurses, then we are insecure, and I don't think it is prudent for the government to look aside when doctors are complaining. The government should listen. The money that they are giving to IBC for verification of signatures should have been given to the doctors to buy the equipment so that they can go back to hospitals with confidence. Because you can go to hospital, all right, but if you are worried of what will happen, you may not focus on what you are really doing in that hospital. We have seen bad things happen, and I think it's a call on the government to now address issues and prioritize issues as they come, because to us, we would have prioritized the issues of healthcare first, and then the issues of BBI later.